Forgive me, Lord, for I have sinned. I have become an artist. Yeah, so you might have been wondering where I have been, and well, yep, this is about it. I've been stuck in the gray purgatory that is the default Blender UI. It's actually not that bad. Go ahead and make yourself at home. I've got some drinks, and don't mind my monkey friend here. He just kind of showed up. So, I made this. Yeah, it turns out this is something you can just learn to do. I must admit that this is something that I'm both really excited to showcase that I can do, but also a bit scared and confused because in the artist world, it seems to be a hold no quarter fight for the top, but also a bit confused because, well, I can make these, but, what now? I mean, all I have now is this unlisted YouTube video that I don't really know what to do with. I am using it as my end card for one of my videos, but other than that, I'm unsure what to do with any of the ones that I make in the future. Do I post them? If so, then where? Are video files even allowed on art sites? I don't know. But let's not dwell on the questions. There's too many of them. I'm sure many of you are wondering why everything looks so kinda old. Well, that's because I wanted to have a style that fits somewhere between the Nintendo 64 and the early days of World of Warcraft. I couldn't explain to you why, but I find this early era of 3D to be incredibly charming. Call it nostalgia or just rose-tinted goggles, but I love this stuff. Recently, there's been a bit of a renaissance for indie games that are styled in this N64 and PS1 era graphics, and it makes me really happy to see. Now, you may be wondering how I got to this point in the first place. Why am I here? Well, you see, I didn't learn Blender just to do this at first. Believe it or not, I learned Blender because of Nathaniel Bandy, the YouTuber who does Mario content. Trust me, it makes sense. Way back when, he did this multi-part series where he looked at a collection of small ROM hacks for Super Mario 64. And at some point, I was like, I want to do that. So I did. I got a few add-ons that I needed and just learned Blender specifically to make these. I ended up making 2 custom levels. This one was my first. I actually like to think that it's pretty good for my first time really using this program, and this is my second one, which I think came out leagues better. I was in the process of making a third, but honestly at that point I just kind of lost interest in the craft, so I just kind of stopped and moved on. But then at some point I was like, man, I would love my own custom YouTube end card. So then I picked it back up again purely out of boredom, and now I can't put it down. Yeah, it turns out I really like turning basic cubes into literally everything but. Not only that, I can also stick with this graphical niche that I really like, and honestly, it wasn't that hard to pick up in the first place. The idea I had for this first project was to make my house. I thought a forest hovel kind of deal would look quite nice. I wanted it to look pretty lazy as I thought it would fit the theme well enough. Now, I'm sure that you, the viewer, have already pieced this together, but I am a kitsune. But not really. I just look like one, but I'm not actually a spirit of any kind. So I went ahead and made my house. I carved out a little staircase up the tree and some foggy ambience. I do think I nailed the feel very well. I will say that I put a little bit too much detail in it to really look like it could run on older hardware. Definitely closer to the early World of Warcraft than Nintendo 64, but I do still like the balance that I've carved out. I am especially proud of making the water and the custom signs. The water was particularly difficult because I didn't actually know how to animate, so I had to learn how to animate UVs specifically, which was definitely a challenge, but I think I did well enough, and it looks like the water is flowing with the shape of the river, so I'm overall proud about how it came out. The signs are another one. A few of them I wrote Koji's name in Mandarin, and a few others I did just gibberish. I didn't really mean for any of these to be readable, but I still think it was a nice touch. I am really happy with the way that this whole thing turned out. I'm already working on a second one, making something inspired by the World Tree Yggdrasil. It's not near finished here, but I'm excited to keep working on it. And after this project, I'm gonna make something like a forest temple or such. I do kind of like that forgotten and overgrown look, so I'm excited to work on that too. but I don't want to turn into the kind of person who has a million unfinished projects, but then just keeps starting more of them, so I think I'll finish this one before thinking of anything else. So far, I only have confidence in my ability to make landscapes, so I think I'll be sticking with the high fantasy look for them. I haven't really attempted to make a real character model, partly because modeling that kind of thing I don't even want to think about for how hard it seems like for now, but also rigging it seems like its whole own pile of shit to deal with, so I'll just procrastinate learning that skill for as long as I will let myself. Overall, I'm still unsure what to do with these or where I should post them, if at all, but until I figure those out, I'm just gonna continue making them. If you're still around, then thank you for listening to me rant about this new skill that I've been learning. I must admit that it's a little daunting now that I have two major creative hobbies that both require a lot of time and work and seemingly no real way to mesh them together into one mega hobby, but I think I'll figure that out eventually. But thank you for being here. If you have anything that maybe you'd think would be cool for me to model, do let me know in the comments. And also, if you're interested, I'm thinking about streaming this whole process over on my Twitch, which I will be linking down below. Thank you for watching, like and subscribe, and here's that end card that I was talking about earlier.